129,808 people are those who had collected the permanent voter cards, watch that word there, as of February 6th. That's the time, and that's the figure. But then, let's move on a little bit. Things changed as the dates also moved on. Yes, we do know. Yeah, I know, we're moving ahead, reminding us of those dates. But then, look at this. This happens to be the graphic representation of those who had collected the permanent voter cards. The figures as of February 6th was 67.68% of the total number of registered voters were those who had collected their permanent voter cards. Don't forget, as of the 6th of February 2015. Then there was an update. INEC usually gives these documents time and again concerning what the latest information is. They released another on the 26th of February about the permanent voter cards. The figure of the total number of those who were registered didn't change, remains the same. And then the figure improved concerning those who had collected theirs, those who had thought, okay, I need to participate. And look at that, 54,327,747 as at 26th of February. So that enthusiasm being translated into action. Look at that in percentages. 78.93% were those who eventually had come up to collect their permanent voter card as at the 26th of February. Well, INEC also did set that timeline for themselves, saying, well, if we achieve 85% of collection of PVCs, we will be good to go. So that happens to be the latest figure from the Commission about the collection of the permanent voter cards and where they are. Well, yes, indeed, there are some more activity, which we'll get to hear from the Chief Press Secretary to INEC in just a moment, because there's this announcement about tomorrow, car testing. In fact, there will be, I reckon, more figures and updates, that is, about the latest figure of those who have collected their permanent voter cards. So we'll wait on the Commission when they release that one. But now, let's bring you the comments of the chairman of INEC. At the time, he had announced that the elections were not going to hold on the first date, but now we're looking at two dates, March 28th and April 11th.
No matter the extent of INEC's preparedness, therefore, if the security of personnel, voters, election observers, and election materials cannot be guaranteed, the life of innocent young men and women, as well as prospects for free, fair, credible, and peaceful elections would be greatly jeopardized. Consequently, the Commission has decided to reschedule the 2015 general elections thus. The national elections, i.e. Presidential and National Assembly, are now to hold on March 28, 2015. While the state elections, governorship and state assembly, are to hold on April 11, 2015. It should be noted that this rescheduling falls within the constitutional framework for the conduct of the elections, notably Section 76, subsection 2, Section 116, subsection 2, Section 132, subsection 2, and Section 178, subsection 2.
Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Atayu Jaiga, with that announcement where it was announced actually that the elections have been rescheduled. We'll come to that in just a moment. Let's take you through Abuja. Remember, our correspondent, Larry Lasise, is there with this. There he is. Larry, hello. Tell us, in the National Assembly now, you were there, House of Reps, I believe, and then they sat today. What did they talk about?
Well, largely, as it concerns the election, there was a motion that was brought up, and the motion sought to generally pass a move against any attempt to shift the date of election. But the motion was really rounded because it also went into the issue of removing the INEC chairman and warning against that, and ended up by saying that the anybody that takes any decision, or any organization that takes any decision that makes it impracticable for INEC to conduct the elections, or that will make it mandatory for the dates to be shifted again, should be held responsible even to the laws of the country and even to the ICC, the International Criminal Court. And that motion was brought up by a lawmaker from the APC from Kwara State. It was opposed by the deputy majority leader of the House, Honorable Leo Ogo, who said the motion was speculative, it didn't have any substance, there was nothing there to actually go on that made it necessary for the House to consider that motion. But the Speaker ruled him out of order, and he decided that there shouldn't be a debate on that motion, and a voice vote was called. And despite a strong opposition from other lawmakers, the motion passed, and that is now the position of the House on that matter. Incidentally, the Speaker left there and went to his, he had a meeting with a group of civil society organizations who had also come to complain or like raise their observation over issues concerning the elections, such as rumors that the chairman of the commission will be removed, the possible extension again of the election. And the Speaker spoke really clearly there and said he didn't believe there should be any shift in the date. He also called on the civil society organizations to stand up and be counted, and nobody should shy away from speaking out. If some people, he did say very clearly that it appeared some individuals didn't want the elections to hold and they were trying to shift the elections, which he said was not right. He also touched on some of the things that had been going around, some debate on whether there will be an interim government, and he said that was unconstitutional, and that the whole talk of whether the country is at war or not can only be decided by the National Assembly, and if nobody has brought a motion to that effect, so there is no call, or there should be nothing to be said about having an extension or an interim government.
You know, the thing about this meeting today, Larry, is that, oh yeah, we lost them there because, I mean, the Senate, not long ago, also addressed the press conference, some senators saying that they had it on good authority or from very reliable sources that somebody somewhere was thinking about either removing the chairman of the commission and then coming up with some other reasons about whether or not the elections were going to hold. And now, yes, the House of Reps also speaking up on this one. So it appears as though they are sure that somebody somewhere is planning something.
Well, the people that are raising these concerns, they feel very strongly that, yes, this is going down. But, you know, there's been, this issue has been on the front burner. People have been raising it. Government has reacted to it. Even the president has been questioned about this. And from the part of government, it's been made very clear that there are no plans to remove the chairman. But, you know, the issue of how and the whole issue of whether he's been removed or he's been told to go on a terminal leave, as it is I think some of the fears of those that are raising these motions. But as it is right now, it's just been thrown out there. But with the House of Reps taking this position, we now have an official position from the National Assembly, from one arm of the National Assembly, speaking against the move. You remember the call by the senators was actually just the APC caucus, not the Senate as it is. But this is the House of Representatives. But I also remind you, Chamberlain, that a lot of times we've been told that even these motions or any resolution by the National Assembly is advisory, doesn't come with any force of law.
All right, thank you, Larry. Correspondent Larry Lasisi speaking to us from our studios in Abuja. Well, let's get to this matter now, talking about whether or not INEC is indeed, or how ready are they, the elections were to hold tomorrow, Can we do it? Well, Tunji Shele is here with us in the studios. He's the chairman of the People's Democratic Party